Welcome to the Equity.Guru episode of Four Men in Spectacles, also known as the Investor Roundtable. I'm spectacle wearer number one, Rob. That's TK down here in the basement with me, getting the party ready. Upstairs, Galen matches my spectacles. And then far corner, kind of sitting a little bit in the dark because he is mysterious and a little bit dark. It is Fischel, the chart attack man. I meant dark and kind of that kind of horror movie.
He's like the shadow host.
I know. Yeah. It's a dark day. It's a gray day, you know.
It is a gray day. But you get to go first when we're talking about our special company today, and that is FansUnite, which is FansUnite Entertainment. And it is conveniently FANS.
FANS, Rob. Yep, that's right. And
Canadian Exchange.
For those of us who follow the Canadian stocks, we'll look at the charts in few minutes, but it was a very, very popular stock and a really good story. You guys will see why. But basically, FansUnite iGaming. They're into online sports betting, esports betting, casino, and fantasy as well. And they have this umbrella, and they have two companies here. One is McBookie, which of course is in Scotland, and they've been racking in the revenue, biggest revenue month in 10-year history in the past. And the revenues are always, getting higher and higher. And then they also have Ascot Entertainment as well, which is dealing with casino games. But it's all about betting and sports betting and esports betting. They have licenses in running out of Malta and the UK right now. Obviously, the big catalyst going forward is going to be the Canadian license and the US license, although they do have access to the US market, through U.S. market partners, through a partnership with Gameco. So they have a way into the U.S. there. And again, Canada, I think they're positioned quite well for that as well. So basic esports, betting, gambling company.
If anybody's interested in the U.S. market, it's FunFF.
FunFF.
FunFF. But for us folks in Canada, it's Fans on the Canadian Exchange. And a man who's written quite a bit about this firm, this company, is Mr. TK.
Awesome. Actually, touching on the dual postings there, they post on the OTCQX and then the CSC. And I don't want to nerd out, but the OTCQX is usually for high quality listings in the US, and it's under the OTC group. So it's just an indication of how high quality the company is. But I think that's because of the big backing they have from Venture Square, which at the time I wrote they were a 50% owner. I don't know if that ownership stake has gone up, but Venture Square is essentially known for investing in high growth, high disruptive companies in the tech space, or companies like companies like fans that are trying to disrupt the industry, but also go in line with some of the rules and regulations set in place. And it's structured that way in the e-gambling market, specifically because of some of the tax obligations that come with the sector. So not only are people gambling with the stock market, they're excessively gambling with the sports books on their platforms, because their revenues have gone from $200,000 in 2017 to almost $1.5 million in 2020. And of the last 12 months, that number has gone up to $3 million in sales. So there's an obvious trend here of people jumping into their platform, and it's because probably the business model works well, and they have the backing and the licenses that allows them to put their white label platforms across many partners. And it's an amazing business structure to have, not including the $14 million of cash that they have on their books. It's a very capital light business, so they don't need to reinvest heavily in property and plant. Once you get the ecosystem done, it basically generates its own sales force, or it generates its own income without extra cash going in. So majority of the extra cash used is actually there to maintain and grow externally the platform. So it's an amazing business structure for them to be set in place right now.
It is FansUnite discussing some momentum there, and it is Scott Burton who's the CEO of this company. And I don't know if Galen gets pretty excited about stuff. I don't know if he's excited about Scott and this company as he's about the guy with Tesla in that company.
Excited, but in a different way. Now, Scott Burton and his company is actually a really good idea because, well, humanity loves to gamble.
Yeah.
That's the oldest profession or pastime known to mankind other than the other one. So basically, this is a great niche to get into. It is, however, a very embryonic market. We're still looking for legislation to hit. The United States is figuring out that the problem is with online gaming, there's no border. So they're having to figure out how this jurisdiction is going to work, how it's going to be regulated. Is it going to be a national thing, an international thing? Who takes the fall if something goes wrong? All that kind of lovely stuff. The rest of the world is kind of opening up. You've got, they've got their McBookie stuff going on in Scotland. They also have Vamos, GG, I believe is the, it's an esports first sports book, which they're pulling out of Brazil, which is kind of interesting, and that's kind of a fertile market. They're very sport-oriented. I didn't know the esports was going on down there, but, why not? There's lots of internet cafes. People are very interested in sort of connecting online, and it's a huge market. Like, there's a lot of people to spend money down there. So they're getting their feet wet. They're getting in. They're finding out, and they're establishing themselves. And what I really like about the company is it's not just business to consumer, which is a lucrative piece anyway, but they're also providing services for business to business so people can white label their product and push it forward on their own, so they don't have to do the legwork. They just get the licensing fee and whatever else happens to come along. So, get in early, get in first, establish a footprint. This is kind of where these guys are going, and they're making book, no pun intended. They're getting revenues coming through the door, and so they're an active company. And this is more than a lot of sort of online gaming companies that are doing the promises. We're going to do this. We've got this all set up. We're going to make deals with these guys, and by the way, the market's going to be a 40 billion, and we're going to have a piece of it. Well, how are you going to have a piece of it? Where are you going to have a piece of it? And when are you going to execute this piece? Right? FansUnite has proven that they're doing this. Now, I haven't really taken a look at the charts to see how they've been doing market-wise. I don't know where they are financially right now. I'm the guy with the feeling. I'm the one that's looking at this as an idea piece. And so I think that they have something going. And I know Scott is a fairly driven individual. You take your marks on a company by knowing who's leading it. And he's a guy that's got his, hand on the stick and his mind or his eye on the ball. He knows what's going on. So I'd like to see where this thing's heading.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you just introduced our chart attack guru, and that would be Michelle, because he is, of course, watching the charts.
A little bit of a story here, guys. You guys all know Esson from Equity.Guru, but last year he called me up. He's like, Vishal, take a look at FansUnite, man. He's like, yo, you got to get in, buy some of the shares. And I was researching them, and then boom, this happened. We broke above 29 cents. And from 29 cents, we hit highs of about $2.37. Wow. So, yeah, a 793% move there. Esson made, he made
a killing.
And here I was missing out, weeping in the corner. But after that highs there at 237, the stock has slowly declined. Again, people taking profits, right? There are going to be people taking profits. I think it's completely normal. And from there, we began to now basically range here between, I would say, 61 cents up to these highs here of $1.25. And I have another sort of interim resistance zone here at around 88 cents. But this one here is a very nice and simple, clean chart, which I think everyone can sort of see how important it is, this zone right now. It's 61 cents. It's obviously a very important support zone or price floor, which has been tested once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. I guess you can call that a 5th and a 6th here, and a 7th, and now again an 8th time here. And in the past, going back to November of last year, we always find buyers at this zone here. So as someone who watches support zones and resistance zones, but especially support, because that's sort of where you want to enter a position, where resistance is likely where you want to start taking some profits. But just looking at the chart, you're at a very, very good level here at support at 61 cents. So I'm going to be watching this, and I recommend everyone to watch this. Just if you're even new into technicals, because this is such an important support level and very clean as well. And what we want to see is we want to see volume here. And I mean, look at that, guys. We're getting 1.9 million shares traded, 1.2 million shares traded, 1.1 million shares traded, 1.4 million shares traded. So, and there's a few million, you can see a few million numbers here. So there's 3.8 million actually on October 5th there. So we're getting volume, this is a stock that's traded, and let's just watch for a nice green candle, because if you are going to enter a position, this area has so much confluence, being such an important support zone and attracting buyers. So definitely watch this, and I know I will be, and I'm sure many technical traders and perhaps even algos that base their trading on very strong support levels, because when you have 6 touches like that, that's very powerful.
All right, you know what? We're going to do turbo spend my money this time, because we're going a little long-winded today on fans. So keep it right with Vishal and tell me how much the $5,000 of mine you're going to spend right this second.
Right this second. So right at this second, I would put in $1,000, and then I'm going to wait for a green candle, something that tells me that there's going to be a lot of buyers there. So maybe a big wick like that, or a large green candle, and then I'll bump my position up to 3K on that signal.
All right. Mr. TK, what are you doing right now?
Honestly, I'm at the same structure as Vishal. Buy in now, get some whilst you wait for other catalysts. The biggest catalyst that I'm a little indifferent about is they are a small player in the game, and they're these big behemoths like Gold Nugget Online, which is part of a Gold Nuggets casino and hotels in Las Vegas that are making large acquisitions in the field of companies like Fans. So wait for catalysts like that to kick in and see how the management reacts. So then that's when I'll put the second 3,000.
Look at that. Galen, are you following suit?
I think I am, because as TK well and Vishal pointed out, it's really, I think, hit its support level, and it's basically probably just going to go up. They do really need traction, though. They got to set their teeth in a lot deeper on the market for me to feel super confident. So I'm going to throw in a K. That's where I'm going. That's what I'm going to do.
All right.
And I'm going to wait it out and see what happens.
Pretty consistent across the board, folks. There you go. It is the CEO, Scott Burton. It is FansUnite. It is Fans, F-A-N-S, conveniently enough, on the Canadian Exchange. Do your own research, people. We cannot guarantee the results of any stock market activities based on what we say, but hopefully you take some of this information and move forward successfully in whatever you do. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks to TK and to Galen and to Vishal on this episode of the Equity.Guru Investor Roundtable.